8 firms fined almost 2 million ringgit for bid rigging. Inmate injures guards in French prison attack. Good afternoon, I'm Amrin Carlos and you're watching News on 2. The Prime Minister, Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, who chaired a 2-hour meeting on the review of the Malaysia Agreement 1963 or MA63, said there is little disagreement between the federal, Sabah and Sarawak governments on the matter. Speaking in Putrajaya, the Premier said several working papers on the various government functions were tabled at the Special Cabinet Committee to review the MA63, and almost all of them would be referred to the Technical Committee for an in-depth study before they are discussed at the next meeting.
Ada yang kita tak boleh selesai, kita rujuk kepada Technical Committee. They will look into. For example, stamp duty. Ini memerlukan kajian yang lebih mendalam.
The Premier said this after chairing the review meeting at Perdana Putra, Putrajaya. The meeting was also attended by Sabah Chief Minister Dato Sri Muhammad Shafi Abdal and Sarawak Chief Minister Dato Patinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg, among others. Special Cabinet Committee to review the MA63, which aims to restore the status of Sabah and Sarawak as equal partners in the formation of Malaysia, held its first meeting on 17 December last year. Well, former Chief Justice Tun Arifin Zakaria will lead the Royal Commission of Inquiry, or RCI, into the discovery of temporary settlement camps and mass graves in Wang Kalian Perlis in 2015. Home Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said Tun Arifin would be assisted by former Inspector General of Police, or IGP, Tan Sri Norian Mai, and 5 other members of the RCI whose appointments had received the consent of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. The members are former Attorney General's Chambers, AGC Chief Prosecutor Dato Nur Bahri Baharudin, Suhakam Chairman Tan Sri Razali Ismail, former AGC Chief Researcher Dato Junaida Abdul Rahman, former Malaysian Ambassador to Thailand Dato Nazira Hussein, and former Public Accounts Committee PAC Deputy Chairman Dr Tan Seng Gyao. Tan Sri Muhyiddin said that the establishment of RCI is to ensure the sovereignty of the country and to avoid issues that could lead to any negative perception of the country. The investigation will take 6 months, following which the report will be presented to the Yang di-Pertuan Agong.
Kerajaan telah bersetuju untuk menubuhkan Suruhanjaya Siasatan Diraja bagi menyiasat kes pemerdagangan orang di Wan Kalian Perlis. Perubahan Suruhanjaya Siasatan Diraja ini dilihat amat bertepatan dengan komitmen kerajaan untuk mencari kebenaran berhubung tragedi ini menerusi siasatan yang telus dan bebas.
He said this in a press conference held after the appointment of the RCI Council member in Putrajaya. In May 2015, police announced the discovery of graves with 106 skeletal remains believed to be of Rohingyas and 28 human trafficking camps in Wang Kalian. 8 information technology IT firms have been fined a total of 1.94 million ringgit in penalties by the Malaysia Competition Commission, or MYCC, for bid rigging through tenders offered by the National Academy of Arts, Culture and Heritage, also known as Azwara. Its Chief Executive Officer, Iskandar Ismail, said investigations found that the companies colluded to share tenders, prepared documents with one another, and manipulated the price in the tenders, apart from the winner of the tenders sharing profits with the losing bidder. Speaking at a media conference held in Kuala Lumpur yesterday, Iskandar said the companies are being fined under the Competition Act 2010, which stipulates that they could face a penalty of a maximum 10% of their revenue.
Kami akan mengenakan tindakan tegas because the thing is ia akan merugikan kerajaan. Kerajaan sepatutnya membelanjakan contoh 100 juta untuk satu kontrak. Tetapi disebabkan tipuan bidder tu, ya, kerajaan kena bayar 150 juta. So kerajaan rugi 50 juta.
Iskandar explained that MYCC had proposed penalties amounting to 1,936 million ringgit, but the final amount will be decided after the companies have submitted their defence. He said the companies were found to have rigged bids in 3 quotations and 1 tender process for Aswara some 2 years ago, with MYCC investigations concluding in October last year. The Putra Future Classroom, or PFC, is the latest agenda by the Education Ministry, which will serve as a centre of reference for best technology integrators in teaching and learning for all parties, both locally and internationally. Its Minister, Dr. Masni Malik, said PFC has established a prototype for Future Classroom or lecture hall. Dr. Masli said PFC will also act as a learning laboratory on philosophy, landscape and ecosystem.
Seperti mana yang telah ditunjukkan kelas Future Classroom atau kelas masa hadapan, kita yakin banyak lagi invensi-invensi ataupun ciptaan-ciptaan yang akan diterokai oleh universiti-universiti. Dan kita menggalakkan juga supaya universiti bekerjasama dengan institusi lain yang terdapat di bawah Kementerian Pendidikan.
Masli said this after launching the Putra Future Classroom at University Putra Malaysia in Serdang, Selangor. Now, the government needs to transform the technical and vocational education and training, also known as TVET, taking into consideration its importance for the country in facing the 4th Industrial Revolution, or Industry 4.0. And Youth and Sports Minister Syed Sadiq Syed Abdul Rahman said the transformation should be extended to other ministries in order to produce more youths who are competitive.
Di bawah Kementerian Belia Sukan ada 22 institusi TVET dan kita nak pastikan bahawa kita dapat memasarkan anak muda yang lebih baik, peluang pekerjaan pun dapat ditambah dan pada masa yang sama pekerjaan yang dijana juga pekerjaan yang berkualiti dan berimpak tinggi.
Syed Sadiq said this after witnessing the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, between Smart Trends International and the National Open College Network, NOCN, in Kuala Lumpur. The MOU is aimed at enabling companies and industries to shorten the duration of long-term employee training and fund training costs. Young entrepreneurs should be bold as they explore the technology-based industries, as they are the key drivers for the emerging technology-based industries. Entrepreneur Development Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Rizwan Yusof said the exploration of technology-based industries is parallel to the creation of more innovation-driven local entrepreneurs. Datuk Seri Muhammad Rizwan said technology and innovation-based industries such as Internet of Things and artificial intelligence that can spur higher and faster industrial growth.
So we want to develop them further in terms of capacity, quality, so that they are well accepted all over the world. And we have success stories so far by young entrepreneurs from Malaysia. We are, as I said earlier in my speech, or in my short dialogue with the participant, we have young entrepreneurs now in blockchain on world stage. Yeah? We have young Malaysian entrepreneurs in Spain doing satellite. We have young entrepreneurs in Houston that help NASA in certain so-called certain unit of the development within NASA. So we are there, the skill sets are there, but we need to stimulate.
He said this at a press conference held after the Malaysian ASEAN Entrepreneurs Day held in Kuala Lumpur. Well, guidelines to tackle the issue of abandoned vehicles in residential and public areas will be tabled at the Cabinet meeting next month. And Transport Minister Anthony Loke Siu Fook, in a statement, said the guidelines developed and tabled by the Housing and Local Government Ministry will also be tabled at the National Council for Local Government in June before being implemented in July. Now, according to Loke, the guidelines would empower local authorities to dispose of abandoned vehicles within 33 days compared to 1 year before, based on the provisions of the Road Transport Bill for the amendment of 2018. Now, he added that it would involve a car handling process chart, beginning with the car being towed away, searching for the owner, and disposing of the vehicle if the owner cannot be located. The Transport Minister added that abandoned vehicles were one of the most common problems faced by the public, and local authorities previously had no powers to move these vehicles. Well, coming up, Malaysia records highest January export value in history. And that's good news, for Malaysia's export value for January 2019 has amounted to 85.4 billion ringgit, an increase of 3.1% compared to 82.8 billion ringgit recorded in the same period last year. Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng in a statement said that the export value is the highest in the country's history so far. And according to Lim, the trade surplus for the 255th month proved that the country's economy was on the right track for achieving an encouraging growth domestic product or GDP growth. He added that the trade surplus amount is higher than the 9 billion ringgit projection despite the unending trade war between China and the United States. Now, Lim also said that the prospects are good for the country's economy as it helps ensure that current accounts are in surplus to protect Malaysia from uncertain external factors. Well, in terms of imports, for the year-on-year, the growth has increased by 1%, which proved the healthy growth of the country's domestic demand. Sports and in the local scene, now only 13 players from the Suzuki Cup 2018 squad were called up for the coming Air Marine Cup 2019, which will kick off on the 20th of March. And coach Tan Cheng Ho has called up 12 new faces to further strengthen the team and test them in a high-profile tournament. Among the 4 regulars dropped were Shamir Kutiaba, Akhyar Abdul Rashid, Safawi Rashid and Shahmi Safari. Goalkeeper Farizal Marlias, Aidil Zafwan Abdul Razak, Adam Nur Azlin, Amirul Azhan Adnan, Shafiq Ahmad and Sharil Fikri Muhammad Fauzi were also left out. Replacing them, among others, were 3 Selangor players, Abdul Latif Suhaimi, Faiz Nazir and Abdul Halim Sari, 2 from Pahang, Matthew Davis and Nur Azam Abdul Azeh, and 2 Kedah players, goalkeeper Ifwan Ahmal Sheikh Qasim and Rizal Ghazali. 4 teams will take part of the competition, and it will pit Oman going up against Afghanistan in the first match, while Malaysia and Singapore do battle in the evening of the 20th. The winners of the 2 matches will face each other in the evening of 23rd March to decide the winners of the tournament, while the losers will battle for 3rd place earlier in the afternoon. All matches will be played at the National Stadium in Bukit Jalil. We conclude this morning's edition on News on 2. Now in our top story, 8 firms fined almost 2 million ringgit for bid rigging. And News on 2 will come on again this evening at 6 p.m. for more updates and news stories. Till then, I'm Muhammad Amin, and thanks for watching.